I'm so behind on editing videos. I remember I have like 3 additional videos that I recorded like last week. Problem was, I was so wasted I don't remember anything. I'm wondering why I'm even alive. So, we're gonna go back so I can experience this fresh. Delete? Who the fuck is that guy? I don't know. This might turn out to be an okay day despite the nightmares. I mean, as long as you don't pester that poor, socially awkward girl. I felt so bad for her. Erik was just like, "Durr," and she was just like, what the fuck are you doing? Before I knew it, I had already wandered into the cafeteria. Looking around, it's still almost, Looking around, it's still almost deserted, barring a few early risers shambling around with their food trays or shifting drowsily in their seats, but that didn't make it any less lively than it was yesterday. Some are happily chatting over coffee, some are hunched over piles of textbooks and notes, while a group in similarly designed tracksuits talks about what I figured to be the strategies for some sport. It looks like I'm the only one who's alone right now. I make my way to the counter. Being as early as it is, there's still no queue to speak of, and the woman on the other side greets me with a perfectly rehearsed spiel and a nice, small smile. Good morning. What would you be having today, my dear? I scan the counter for choices. I'm not particularly picky with food, so I guess it doesn't really matter as long as it's filling enough. I ask for some pancakes and a cup of café au lait. To go with it. It takes no more than a couple of minutes before the server returns with my tray of food. I carefully lift it, only to nearly send its contents flying off when a cold, rasping voice breathes down my neck. Oh, who is this? Natalia! She's the girl that was very insistent on having us eat her food for some reason. So there's something interesting or mysterious going on with her. I can't even pronounce that shit. Nope, not even gonna try. Erik. Whoa! I swivel around to face the source of the voice. What hellish beast could have produced that unearthly... Natalia? Hello. You look to be a bit surprised. Natalia gives me a groggy smile, rubbing her eyes on her sleeve. Her hair is sticking out every which way like an unruly patch of crabgrass, eyes barely even half open. She's carrying a few books and a notebook under her arm. Her shoulders are drooping and her gait seems kind of unsteady. The thought that she's actually sleepwalking occurs to me. Her blazer isn't even buttoned completely. Good morning. Not to sound rude, but shouldn't you fix the buttons on your uniform, Natalia? She lets out a feeble "oh!" before trying to button the jacket up with a single hand, with only the faintest blush on her face. Sorry, I didn't notice. Still too sleepy. There, all tidy now. I wanted to interject how little it improved, since she otherwise still looked about as tidy as a Kansas farm freshly ravaged by an EF5 tornado. I love the metaphors they use, but I have a feeling she wouldn't really care. If I had any previous preconceptions of this girl being anything like a proper lady, those have now been blasted to kingdom come. After she gets her breakfast of pancakes and orange juice, we walk over to the same corner of the cafeteria we hung out in yesterday, and take our seats. Sorry, Sonechka always fixes my clothes for me. Anyway, Erik, how are you? Pretty fine, all things considered. I don't quite think that I've already found my footing here yet, but baby steps, I guess? That was a motto back in a support group that I used to be in. Baby steps, just take the baby steps. I mean, I checked out the newspaper club yesterday, too. It's pretty fun, I think. If I have the time or energy, I'll probably check in for the next meeting. Lena was a pretty intense person, but I guess I can work with that. Hell yeah! Her features brighten as she apparently recognizes the name. She lets out a short laugh. Oh, the girl with the mask, yes? We are classmates. She's very strange. She even interviewed me when I first came here. She asked me questions and things. Lots of questions. But she didn't let me ask anything in return. I was ready to ask her all about that mask on her face. What do you think is under that mask, Erik? The rest of her face, I guess? I wonder about this. Do you think we should investigate? Like Russian spy in action movies. Hell frickin' yeah, get frickin' Irene and, she probably has spy equipment. Since I'm Russian, I'm probably a good spy, so I think it's worth trying. Maybe Sophia's already one. What do you think? Do you think we'll need to ask her for help? Speaking of her, she's not here with you today, huh? Niet. She promised to visit sometime this week, though. She lives in an apartment just a few kilometers away from here. Is it not cool? But please do not change the topic. I have a terrible Russian accent. It's not even an accent at this point. I'm just kind of like, you know, it's gonna be... What the fuck am I doing? But please do not change the topic. Perhaps we can launch some secret attack into Miss Lena's room and search for any clue. Well, that's escalating things. Launch some secret attack into Miss Lena's room and search for any clue about her magical masks. I'm starting to like Natalia more. We need to conduct a raid. A masquerade. For a few seconds after that, we just exchanged unblinking stares. Come on, Natalia, at least try. Dude, she humored your horrible joke yesterday. Also, before I forget, Eric, sorry about yesterday. The croissant, that is. I had flu during the weekend and I still didn't have much appetite. Sure, I didn't really mind. I know, that's what I said to Sonechka, but she still told me to apologize. Well, water under the bridge then. I'm not sure there was any harm done in the first place, but I appreciate the thought. I don't know what's going on with her, but there does seem to be something a little bit more going on, you know, to that than just, you know, eat my food, I don't have appetite. There's something more serious, based on the way Fran reacted, based on the way her sister reacted. Yeah, this seems to console Natalia. She runs her fingers over her hair, a token attempt at grooming herself. She lets out a big yawn and stretches, which has the effect of disengaging the top button of her uniform yet again. They're two buttons. This time, she fixed it. This time, she fixes it up more quickly, followed by a nearly inaudible groan. I might need to buy a new one. Don't you think so? She sighs. Lately, I feel like life is nothing but suffering, Eric. Oh, Jesus. Relief washes over me as I realize she's dropped the subject of her own accord. But that doesn't mean I understand what the hell she's on about now. Don't you, though? Don't you? What brought this about? She begins twiddling her thumbs with a nervous smile. I have some homework due today. Ah, I see. So that's why you're up early? Natalia nods, her eyes not meeting mine. Such a cute face. I wanted to review my notes some more before classes start. Wow, that's very diligent of you. Oh my god, this guy's... I give Eric a lot of shit while I'm reading this, but that's just because he reminds me of how clueless and awkward I was in high school. So, you know, I'm ragging on him, but he is endearing. Wow, that's very diligent of you. Maybe I assumed too much from the little interaction we had yesterday, but I didn't think her the type to do that. That's actually pretty... You have no freaking idea. That's pretty admirable of her. She's the studious type. The remark, however, earns me a weird look from her. She gives me a nervous smile, then scratches the back of her head with an off-sounding giggle. An awkward silence falls between us. Her eyes begin flitting to and fro, sweeping the entire room, but not meeting mine. She idly drums her fingers on the pile of books beside her. Do you get it? Save game. The return of Dr. Save Game. Now we're suddenly getting choices all over the place. Okay. You know what? There's obviously something going on that, you know, is bothering her. So let's ask her what's wrong. I'm pretty sure something's on her mind. Is something wrong? Huh? No, nothing. You sure? Yeah, well... Eric, about the homework... Actually, last night I got distracted by this new romance fanfiction I was reading on the internet, and well, before I knew it, I have fallen asleep, and well... She looks like Monica. That's the stance that Monica took. Now I'm suspicious. I forgot about doing it. Gladly I woke up rather early today, but then I kinda sorta, how do you say it, just forgot the lesson we had yesterday. I remember calling her diligent earlier. I take the compliment back. What? How? I mean, don't you at least have notes? She just answered with an awkward giggle and a slow, embarrassing shake of her head. Give me my compliment back! Say, would you help me do my homework? It's just a few questions on geography. You're good at this, da? Wait, what? How do you figure that? You're wearing glasses. That means you are a smart person. I know this much, you know. Not necessarily, but I think she's not far off the mark this time. Geography is one of the few subjects I consistently had good grades in. Oh yeah, he was you know, talking to Katja at length about African geography. I also have atlases and piles of mountaineering magazines back home, mostly gifts from my family and the occasional friend from school. Even so, shouldn't you be... Correctly sensing the forthcoming objection, though, she grabs my hands and once again looks at me straight in the eye, wide and beseeching, like a little lost puppy silently imploring you to bring it back to its mother. Please? Obviously, my resistance barely lasts me a couple of seconds. Sure, I'd be happy to. I guess this is a good enough gesture of gratitude for her company yesterday and this morning. I look at my wristwatch. Still more than an hour before school. With all luck, I can still make it even if I stay here for a while more. Oh, really? Thank you so... Promise me 2 things, though. What are those? I agreed to help you catch up with yesterday's lesson, but you'll have to answer your homework on your own. What? Okay, then the second is... Promise me you'll study properly starting tomorrow, okay? Yeah, he's actually handling this pretty well. You know, it's not, oh, I'll do all of your homework for you. It's, let me help you get on the playing field, and then, take some responsibility. Good. That's actually very mature of him. She crosses her arms over her chest and pouts in disappointment. You're starting to sound like Sophia, Erik. Are you planning to replace her somehow as my twin sister? You will need a sister license for that first. What's the fucking sister license? I just thought helping you study a bit is the least I can do to thank you for yesterday, you know? Natalia's eyes widen and her cheeks blossom into a faint but unmistakable blush. She fiddles with her hair a bit as her features revert to her usual carefree smile. I see. Thank you very much. You are a very, very nice person, Erik. I can't help but smile at the remark. Sure, no problem. So, shall we get started? Da! The answer should be, the letter C, right? A continental shelf? Brilliant! You're doing very well. Now how about this problem? Natalia's brows furrow as she tries to crack the next question. I don't think my last statement was an exaggeration, at least not by much. She's actually not all that difficult to tutor, to be honest. She listened well to everything I told her and did everything I asked her to, so she wasn't much of a problem as long as you kept her concentrated. Erik, do you think Santa Claus votes at the North Pole? There are some hurdles in communication, of course. By the time we're done, there's only 15 minutes to go before homeroom. Yeah, she's starting to grow on me. Shit, oh my god, I can't talk at all today. What the fuck? I guess that about wraps it up, huh? Natalia looks at her notebook, now full of notes and side notes we accumulated over our hour-long discussion of landmasses, mountains, and seas, and happily nods. I guess it does. You're such a candy, Erik. A lifesaver is what I mean. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The pleasure's mine. I stand up and stretch. She follows suit, gathering her books. With that, we walk out of the cafeteria. Well, I walked while she was pretty much bouncing with every step, humming a little tune to herself. I decide to accompany her throughout the walk back until she reaches the girls' dormitory. So, see you later then? I still need to prepare for school too. I still had quite a few points I would have liked to discuss with you there, but man, time flies fast. Okay, I agree. I still have a few things to get from my room too. I must hurry. If time flies fast for you, then it is more for me. Time flies a lot faster. Oh, why is that? Natalia tries to bury a chuckle in her hand. She walks up to the building entrance before she turns to me with a coy grin. Because I'm always Russian. That was a terrible joke, and yet I laughed. That was actually pretty good. I walked right into that, didn't I? Finally free of those horrible jokes. At least there's physical education later this morning. Maybe I can get my mind off them by moving around and sweating a bit. I do remember something happened in the gym. I think they introduced a new girl here, but I can't remember. Entering the gym, about half of these students I can see are from my class, but I noticed some new faces mixed in. All of us are wearing the same white and blue gym uniforms provided to us by the school, of course. I recall when Mum got the gym uniforms from school, she called it drab and boring, then immediately tossed it into the washing machine before I had a chance to look at it. Feels a bit snug, but at least the fabric is breathable. The gym here is a bit smaller than the one at my previous school, with soft, rubberized floors and some small bleachers. It's more suited to a playroom than a gym proper. Outdoor sports like track and football are done as part of class occasionally, but apparently I've been placed on the low-impact course. I prefer to be in the more active phys ed courses, but my leg could cause problems, according to the physical I had before transferring here. Walking is fine, though. I decide to warm up my leg by milling around the small space where clusters of students are having quiet conversations.
St. Diffnut's private gymnasium.
This is going to be very painful to edit. Most of the conversations revolve around the latest school gossip I'm not aware of and generic school topics. Homework, what people are up to when they're not doing their homework, when the next test is. Seems fairly standard, though I can't help but feel a sense of alienation. I don't really know anyone here aside from a few familiar faces from class. Find a friend! Hang out with him. Her. He, she's awesome. Maybe I can meet people who aren't as pun-obsessed as Natalia, or as silent as that one girl who sits next to me. What type of sandwiches do you like? Ella seems pretty normal. Yeah, she's also... I keep on forgetting that Ella is even in the game, honestly, because there's so many more interesting people. I'm sure there's some cool stuff in, in her backstory, but, so far she hasn't made a big impression. Suddenly, a loud clap bursts from the side doors where a young woman, probably in her late 20s, strides over to us. Oh, it's Hertha. I wasn't expecting her to show up here. It's kind of refreshing to see teachers in multiple roles in this school. Hello, students. I'm Miss Veek, and I'll be substituting for this class. Oh my god, I'm just tripping over my tongue left and right. Everyone pauses for a moment, unsure what to think. A hand shoots up from the crowd of students gathering around this new face. Yes. Where's Dr. Byrne? He's supposed to teach us, right? Dr. Byrne is very busy this school year. He's been invited to several international conferences across Europe and in the United States. I'm sure he misses teaching all of you, though. Several students nod. I guess this Dr. Byrne was pretty popular with the students here. Feel the burn. I know I'm not him, but let's do our best to get along and have some fun, okay? Some students give a smile, but most of the others sigh and shrug their shoulders. Everyone lines up at rows to get started on some calisthenics. However, despite Miss Veek's cheerful demeanor, many of the students don't seem all that interested, many putting in a minimal effort to appear active. It wouldn't hurt to get some exercise in. I've been cooped up in a hospital in my own home for months now. I wasn't booming a lot when I was recuperating, so being able to freely move around is a nice change of pace. It reminds me of all the times I warmed up to go outdoors with Gustav. Am I the only one actually putting effort into this? Looking to my right yields two lanky males from my class who are sort of doing some half-hearted jumpy jacks. To my left, however, the person to my left has apparently tripped. Oh god! Right into me. Both of us take a sharp fall into the ground and I brace for impact. So today I was asked to stare into the sun, endured some terrible puns, and now have had someone crash into me. What is this? What is this? A cartoon? It feels hard to breathe. I try to lift myself up, but I can't move. There's something really heavy on top of me. Oh god, what happened to her face? Before me is a girl splayed on top of my chest. Well, that explains why I can't move, or breathe. Ah, need to! The girl who fell on me feebly squeaks out in surprise and scrambles off of me. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Usually it's the other way around, the dude falls on the lady. Her face is tinged with red with embarrassment. I try and say something, but Hertha quickly approaches the two of us before I can reply. Whoa, everyone okay? Hertha, She's rhythmically snapping her fingers for some reason. She sniffles a bit, clearly trying not to cry. Oh. Ah! Blood starts trickling down her nose. A nosebleed. Almost instantly, she clamps her hand over her nose to try and plug it. Is that like... Oh, okay. That's better. I thought it was a nod to that whole weird-ass meme in Japanese media about, like, people having nosebleeds when they're turned on, which I don't understand whatsoever. Like, that doesn't happen in real life at all. Anyway, that was a serious blow. My guess is she landed nose first into me when she fell over. I hear Hertha sharply inhale as she realizes what's happened. Oh god, Jean! The girl starts moving in an attempt to get up, Miss Veek gently supporting her. She stumbles in an attempt to get up, wincing as she rises to her feet. Ow! Not as much of a fan of this theme music as Lena's, or even Katja's. She must have rolled one of her ankles pretty badly in the fall. Could it be a sprain? This is bad. Miss Veek turns to me. Sorry to put this on you. Wait, you're from the newspaper club yesterday. I'm Erik. Miss Veek's face lights up in recognition. Oh, I thought you looked familiar. Sorry this happened, but could you help out Jean here? I can't leave these students here unsupervised, but she needs to see the nurse for school injuries. Do you know where the nurse's office is? I shake my head. It was probably pointed out to me briefly in Ella's tour, but I can't seem to recall where it was. Well, from those doors up there, just take a left and head all the way down until you see a fork in the hall. Take the left one. The nurse's office is the second door on the right. There's a sign that says nurse's office over the door. Got it? Got it. I'll take her there. Hopefully my own leg doesn't give out while guiding her down there. Her nose is starting to bleed even more now, to the point that she has to hold it shut to keep from getting stains on her uniform. Man, she got fucked up. The girl wobbles a bit, but manages to balance herself on my shoulder and her good leg. Easy now, try to keep off that foot. Slowly, we make our way to the doors outside. It feels weird saying nothing while walking down the hallway. I don't know her and she looks pretty shaken up, but maybe I should talk to her to get her mind off of things. It's kind of awkward walking down here without trying to say anything. Wait, how do you make small talk with a girl on your arm that also has a nosebleed? Looking closer, Yep, I'm not seeing things. She's missing part of one of her fingers. Oh, one of the fingers on her left hand. Yikes. Crap, I think she noticed me peeking at her. Look away, look away. Hey, you gonna be okay? You took quite a fall there. I suppose it did. Your girl trays off. I'm trying to do the whole, like, nose block sound, but it just kind of sounds like I'm doing a really offensive voice, so I'm gonna stop that. That is, I should be fine. As if on instinct, her body stiffens a little and the fingers on her right hand snap. It's quick, but it's quite loud. She turns a gaze in my direction. Is it a nervous tick? I remember hearing something about those on some documentary I watched. She was doing it after she collided with me, so maybe this is something related to that? What was that? Oh, that's just me. I do that at random. Tourette's syndrome. Tourette's syndrome? Isn't that the disorder that makes people swear uncontrollably? I guess this shows how little I know of other people's disorders. I'm sure she's probably never heard of a somatic disorder. Oh, okay, just curious. All I can do is accept it and move on, I guess. Maybe she only does it when she's not bleeding from the nose. No idea. Well, in any case, glad I was there to cushion you from the fall. Could have been a lot worse. Jean solemnly nods. Sorry about that. No, don't be. I'm not injured, and at the very least, you avoided getting hurt more. Geez, I sound like my sisters now. They'd always get a little overprotective if I got hurt. Gustav did the same thing. Are you okay? I try to reassure her with a grin. Don't worry, I've had worse. The doctors say I'm pretty sturdy. I pat my chest to show that I'm still intact. That's good to hear. I see a small smile forming underneath her hands. Oh, I should introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste. No, my name's Erik. The girl releases her hold on her nose. Looks like the bleeding has stopped for now. My name's Jean. Jean? She French? I don't know. Thanks for your help, and once again, I'm really, really sorry for knocking you over. Her body stiffens and she snaps her fingers once more. She doesn't seem bothered by it, so my guess is that I can safely ignore it as well. Don't worry about it, I'm fine. So you're a transfer student, correct? I don't think I've ever seen you here before. Guilty as charged. I just started here last week. Oh, I was right. Welcome to St. Divnus, then. Thanks. What do you think of this? What do you think of the school so far? It's all right. Can't say I love it or hate it. Just yet, you know. I understand. I was the same way when I first started going here a few years ago. Don't worry. This place grows on you after a while. How long did that take you? How long did that take for you? Oh, it didn't take that long. Maybe a few months? So there are some students who have been here quite a while. I need Google pronunciation. Google pronounce. No, shit. Pro update. Well, fuck off. Go fuck yourself, Google. Anyway. So, Jean's reassurance that the school would grow on me is nice to hear. Still, I'm going to remain skeptical. Not skeptical was it with a K, maybe not. As a matter of principle, this week isn't even over, and I've run into, in Jean's case quite literally, some rather interesting characters. Finally, we arrive at the student's office. Nurse's office. Oh, leave out.
And
that, ladies and gentlemen, was Missing Stars Part 3. Yes. What the fuck was I gonna say? Oh no, I recorded a bunch of these parts in big 2-hour blocks, but releasing those is just kind of a pain in the ass for everybody involved, viewers, me. So I'm going to be slicing them up a little bit and, putting these, hopefully entertaining, funny outros, like, comment, subscribe, super fucking bullshit. Anyway, standard internet crap speak. Internet crap speak, yes, that is the language of the gods. No, I don't know what I'm talking about. Do you? Probably. But I've already finished the game at this point. I recorded this part about a month ago, and this is a really good game. I like it a lot. Fucking cried at one point, so, look forward to that. Watching me cry like a bitch on camera. This is what I am doing with my life!